Okay. Uh-uh. Yeah. Thank you. What's good about this is that the outside door usually opens. I mean, usually late at night, you have to do this sometimes. I mean, you can sit there and wait for the gate, but that gate code doesn't go through for whatever reason. I mean, sometimes you can contact them and they have a way of opening, and sometimes they just don't have a way of opening it. So you can, you know, you can say, you know, I'll meet you at the leasing office, I can drop off the leasing office, which I've done that for like the bigger buildings that have security issues and stuff like that. You just have to. But there's actually ways that works out in the procedure part of all of this, you know, kind of stuff. So sometimes you have to be like a ninja, and you want to kind of be quiet, but you always want to be going to a direct place from like A to B. Okay, you don't want to be like standing around. You want to be in motion, get to that point and then get to the next point and just keep on going. There we go. So that happened to be happenstance right there, but that other one's coming through. So that's another 10 minutes. I already did 3 separate little segments. So, you know, when you're really moving like that, you can actually get to where you're going a little bit quicker. Rather, we'll probably want to wait on the gate, but then that's cold food maybe. Eventually, I do plan later on in my career. I have this really good idea about a film I want to do in Maine, and that's gonna probably require a little bit more of a budget. But in this case, you know, I mean, it seems like it's just, people think it's just, oh, well, you know, he works for Uber Eats or whatever, you know. But it's more than that, you know. It's not the only thing that I am. You know, I have experience in acting schools in New York, and I've been on sets in Hollywood, and I've done a lot of other things too. But this is kind of like, some people say, you know, not everybody can wait tables, But then again, some people are able to do this kind of stuff, you know. Got to improv, you know, it's not all going to go your way. But communication is, I would say, is the most important part. You want to get those gate codes and things like that. Usually in most cases, about 9 out of 10 times you usually can get through proper gate code. Rarely have to do that. And a lot of times I won't if I think the gate is too high or something like that. It just really depends. Because people can pole vault. Some people are ninjas and some people aren't. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody in a case like that. If you think you can handle it, then, you know. But, you know, in military, even police academy, fire department, things like that, they have to train to be able to get over those kinds of obstacles. There are physical obstacles in this. Your staircases can be 3 or 4 levels. You're going up a lot of elevators. You're constantly moving. You're going around corners. And you're also looking out for your own protection. Sometimes having a partner. I've seen a lot of people in Uber Eats and other apps that are similar. Caviar is another one that's really good. There's 4 or 5 of them that are out there. Sometimes they go in doubles. You know, sometimes they have a navigator, sometimes they don't. I've worked with a really good navigator. My navigator was very entertaining and also very ingenious about a lot of things. And it's good to have that backup security to keep in contact. There was a time where I got in a really close call, but I was doing Uber and it was rideshare, and I was able to get out of it, but I did have to do a little bit of running. And I did call the police, but, you know, it's all about perspective. In some cases, you can get into trouble, and then sometimes you seem like the troublemaker, and then sometimes you're not the troublemaker. I mean, it has to be investigated in certain cases, especially when you're dealing with something like maybe an assault or something like that, where you're actually the one that's assaulted. And now, hey, listen, there are some Uber drivers out there that have been assaulted. You know, it has happened. Right now, I don't really do rideshare because of some of the things that I've seen. Rideshare is kind of pretty serious stuff, especially when you're around people that are just out of their minds, and, you know, you've got 2 or 3 people. I've just seen a lot of stuff. I saw a guy in Dallas going crazy with a hammer and all kinds of stuff. You know, I mean, it's like you just have to keep on your toes and all these kinds of stuff, and it doesn't really shut off, really, ever. I mean, you have to gauge it for yourself. I mean, you do want to take some time to take a rest and stuff. You do want to do that, but in the same instance, you do have to sometimes. You have to. It's like, I always compare it to sailing a boat. You have different sails that go up at certain times, and you have to use this wind, right? And then you have to use that wind, and you have to switch sails and things like that, if you know what I mean. So it takes. You have to be keen. You have to be alert. It's definitely what I call a red road.